toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. What is it? Does it exist? Like, what's the deal? And the simple truth is no, they don't actually exist. They are labels that people put on perspectives and misunderstandings. So then what is toxic masculinity? What is toxic femininity? Let's take a pause and back up a second, and let's go to people, male or female, people can operate in two modes. One, they could operate in a place of abundance, a place of flowing and grace and connection with other people, with expansion. Or they can operate in scarcity, which is more about self. Scarcity is about instincts. It's about, what about me? What about my needs and my wants? And you've got something going on, but you approach somebody and they mess something up, but they're in scarcity. They're going to turn whatever they messed up, they're going to turn around on you and make it your fault because they got to protect their ego. They got to protect their sense of safety. They got to protect their sense of self. So that's really how we want to frame, before we talk about polarity, where is this person in front of me? Are they in abundance or are they in scarcity? Easy way to test. Abundance is about love and freedom and choice. It's about motivation. Scarcity is about fear and control and lack. It's about dominance. It's about manipulation. So if somebody's operating in a place of abundance, they're open and they're flowing and they're graceful. Doesn't mean there's no accountability. There is. Doesn't mean there's no boundaries. There are. But they're able to create a we-win, both-and type of state of being where somebody in scarcity, it's first, last, and only about themselves. And it's not to make them wrong. It's just to understand kind of what switch is flipped inside their head or inside their heart so that you know where they're at. Because if you ask them or expect them or anticipate them to be generous, forgiving, understanding, person in scarcity is not going to be there. Now, we've got the person, abundance or scarcity. Now we go from there and split it in half and go, there's a masculine scarcity and there's a feminine scarcity. Not people, right? Not men, not women. Don't generalize it that big. We want to look at kind of the heuristics, the overall rough ideas, and think of a lot of this polarity stuff as kind of like 80%, 90% probability rather than exacting always certitude. People are way messy. People are full contact forces of energy and nature. Don't take anything 100%, right? There's always room to wiggle and grow and move and things you might not understand. And so we want to have some generosity and some flexibility. But masculine and scarcity tends to be in a place of dominance and control, labeling, dismissing, judgment, and a lot of force of nature, force of power, because that's where masculine operates, is penetrate through the obstacles, penetrate through the barriers. And so a person operating in masculine scarcity, you're going to hear a lot of labeling, a lot of judgment, a lot of making other wrong. It's those type of people. It's always massive amounts of projection. They'll usually, in that pattern, will tell you where their wound is, if you're listening and you're noticing. Feminine, on the other side, feminine is more the feeling and the connection. And so feminine gets into withholding energy, criticizing, emasculating, manipulating. Rather than direct confrontation, feminine will come at things sideways. That doesn't mean a woman will always come at things sideways. That is not what I'm saying, and that is not how it works. Because a woman in scarcity could be in her masculine or her feminine. So this idea of toxic masculine or toxic feminine, these are caricatures. These are exaggerated behavioral patterns when there's a lack of masculinity, a lack of femininity, right? Hypersexualization, do before being done, take before being taken. That's much more the caricature. And it usually shows up in people who don't have a healthy role model for masculine or feminine. You know, their mother was a taker and they learned from her how to take and how to manipulate before being manipulated. Or their father was domineering and dismissive, and so they learned to be equally domineering and dismissive as a way to compensate, as a way to compete against that. I had to dominate his thought process and dismiss his thought process. Or I couldn't do it to him because he was too powerful, so I took it into somebody else. So this is really the space to start noticing, how can we get away from the generalizations? How can we get away from painting with broad brush strokes? Because all generalizations are bad, right? All extremists should be shot is a thing I don't know I can say on Facebook anymore because it's said tongue-in-cheek. It's a joke. It's a demonstration of a concept. I'm not saying people should be shot at all. So let's be clear on that because I got to watch the social media censors. But it's understanding where's the person in front of you. And if something is going wrong, if there's friction, if there's if there's impact, if there's struggle, if there's stress, that's usually scarcity speaking, inside you or inside them. And our scarcity can spark somebody else's, right? Our instincts are wired for self-preservation, not thriving, not living life at the highest levels. This is why for a lot of people, they achieve in one area of their life, but then all of a sudden they stop growing and they find some other area where there's problems and they have to focus on that. And then what started to grow starts to stagnate and then die. And it's this constant circling around, whether it's physical stuff, mental stuff, emotional stuff, spiritual stuff, financial stuff, or relationship stuff. There always seems to be a problem, right? The old adage, the pessimist has a problem for every solution. And no matter what you throw out, they have to be right, and they have to fight, and they have to dig in, right? I've got a conversation going in a dad group right now about this guy, and he's like, criticize your kids moderately and appropriately. It's like, why even criticize? Well, you're being feminine. Your feminine understanding of psychology. All right, that's your deal, not mine. Like, that's your projection. That's not how feminine works. That's not how masculine works. But whatever. I mean, you are where you are. So it's entertaining to see the impact and see the place where people try to project their stuff onto you. So when somebody is throwing a label at you about, well, that is, right? I did a TikTok and a reel and a story last week, and I talked about how men need to show up and first thing is be present. And then second thing is be playful. Third is get curious, and then, ask how you can help, how you can support, how you can serve. And I had some random username taking shots and saying, oh, this toxic masculinity. And I'm like, wait a minute. So showing up, positive frame of reference, positive mindset, getting consent before you try to help someone, that's toxic? I'm really confused. And so I posted a transcript of what I actually wrote, haven't had a reply yet, because there's no toxicity in there. There's no judgmental. I'm just having somebody project at me. So when you start to get clear and you see these patterns, you realize, oh, that person is suffering. Not, oh, that's toxic femininity. That's toxic masculinity. It's, no, that person is in pain. That person is in turmoil. We don't need to take it a step farther and generalize to half of the entire species or half of the polarity that drives our energy and makes us what we are. Like, that's ridiculous. This person is having a problem. This person is having a situation. That frame of reference allows us to be more resourceful, to breathe, instead of making these giant, huge predictions and expectations about other people. So this is the kind of stuff I'm doing in my 6-week masculine mastery program, is giving clarity so that you have more choice. So you understand the pattern when your wife or your kids are struggling, when you're struggling. When a buddy of yours is lost and doesn't know what to do, you have ways to unpack it, right? It's like you plug into the matrix. Oh, I know Kung Fu. Well, I actually do know Kung Fu, but I can teach you how to use it, how to understand it, so you have a new set of eyes. And you have a way to screen what's going on with people in multiple dimensions, and you can understand and you can show up powerful. You can show up and make an impact. You can show up and make a difference in your life and the lives of others. Your stress levels go down, the drama goes down, and you're able to just be with whatever's going on. And that's what we're doing in this 6-week masculine mastery. You can get all the details at jeremyrodruck.com, www.jeremyrodruck, my name, first last.com. Has all the information, all the 411, and there's my whiff. Yes, ma'am?
Before you go to Puma?
Yeah, I have 1 minute left, and then yes. Right, I have a clock down here, and then I have her, because she's like way the time master. Like, I gotta give props. The way she moves in time, not the way I move in time. Because I'm just here with you right now, and time disappears. Which is great when I'm delivering content. Bad when people are expecting me to be places at a certain time. Because, oh, I was delivering content. I was serving. I gotta be managed. I understand that. I own that. I used to resist it, but it's okay. I know me. It's all good. So, six week. Right? Less than 45 days, masculine mastery, how to figure out what's really going on to serve and to support and to light up the world. Because when masculine and feminine are both respected, appreciated, admired, celebrated for those unique polarities, everything gets better. And we got to remember, masculine and feminine polarity are available inside pretty much all people, right? Men and women can operate in masculine or in their feminine, a little bit of both, and they can be in abundance or they can be in scarcity. So put that in as a concept, play with it a little bit. Let me know the feedback, how that lands for you, how that serves you. Because I found it to be a very powerful tool to gear down and take stuff less personal and be less reactive and then more present and more playful. And the end result, more present, more playful, makes you more powerful, and you make a bigger impact in serving the people you love. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in, and I'll see you in about an hour. I'll go live again for number 7, number 6, number next. Anyway, talk to you soon. Bye.